It's Friday, March 22nd, 2019. Dow Jones absolutely hammered today, down 460 points. Maybe things just aren't as good as they've been telling you. I'm making a quick video today before I head out for work. I thought it was important to do this video. Dow Jones got rocked today, down 460 points. And again, this is just reinforcing everything we've been talking about, that this economy is not healthy. This economy is on life support. If we were in a healthy economy, we would not see the Dow Jones down 460 points. And that brings up something I want to talk about. I received a text message from an old friend of mine last night, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to paraphrase. Don't have time to go through word per word on this text, but I'm going to paraphrase this text message for you because I think a lot of you can relate to it. I think a lot of you have had these similar conversations with friends, family members, your spouses. So I'm going to share it with you. But he started off by saying that my videos are becoming more ominous, and he's probably right. They probably are becoming more ominous because the situation in America here, our economic situation, is becoming more ominous. Our social situation here in America is becoming more ominous. I am only reflecting reality. I'm only telling you the truth. I'm only giving you the facts, the real statistics. I'm just telling you what is really happening. And if that is more ominous, then it is more ominous. And I believe it is more ominous. I believe we are running out of time. I believe things are even worse than I am saying because I'm only reporting what I'm reading in the news, what I'm seeing in my environment. But what about the things we don't see? What about the things that aren't being reported in the news that are happening behind the scenes? The things that the central bank knows, the Federal Reserve knows, the things that Jerome Powell knows, many of the politicians that they're not telling you what is really happening. Things are much worse than what I'm telling you. Things are probably much worse than what you even think that they are. He said that you've been talking for years about this crash, and eventually you're going to be right. And yeah, for a couple years I have been talking about this crash, but here's the difference. I truly believe the crash had already happened. The crash has already happened. It happened back in 2008, and this economy is on life support. They've been trying to keep this economy alive, propping it up, injecting it with steroids of liquidity and fake money and 0% interest rates and corporate buybacks. If this economy didn't have all these artificial injections and all this help and all this propping and manipulation, do you think we would really be over 25,000 points today? Do you really believe that? And to the person that sent me this text message, do you really believe that with all this propping and manipulation, do you really believe that this economy, that this stock market will be where it is right now? We are running everything on a major credit card. We are going farther and farther into debt. Let's talk a little economics 101, because you've had these discussions with people that you know or family members. Economics 101, you do not have a healthy economy if more money is going out than is coming in. You break that down just into your household. If you are spending more money than you are making, you are going into the red. You are going to be in big trouble. You're going into debt. That is not running a healthy budget. That is certainly not a healthy economy. If you have a healthy economy, why would we have $22 trillion in debt? Healthy economies do not have $22 trillion in debt. Healthy economies do not have these gigantic deficits. We are running gigantic deficits. We are having to service this debt, and it is costing billions and billions and billions of dollars. This is not a healthy economy for another reason, because 80% of the people in this country are living paycheck to paycheck. That is not a healthy economy. You have 480 million credit cards floating in the United States of America. People are living off credit cards. You know, the number one thing that people are buying credit cards is groceries. People are fixing cars, paying their bills with credit cards because they're not making it. They are not making ends meet. They cannot keep up with real inflation, which is around around 10%. Consumer inflation is around 10%. So in healthy economies, this doesn't exist. We can go on, we can talk about, the article on Zero Hedge yesterday, US housing hits a brick wall. This is not healthy. We're watching real estate falling off of a cliff right now. Prices are declining, listings are going up, they're skyrocketing, and houses and properties are staying on the market longer. This is not the sign of a healthy economy. All of these markets are completely overvalued. But again, these people who are in these markets want to pretend and just fool themselves that everything's going to be okay because they're invested in it. So it's like so many real estate agents that I know that just always tell you everything is good because they have to sell those listings. They have to sell property. They have to have buyers buying. And so they're always going to tell you that everything is good because they have to fool themselves. And a lot of people are doing the same thing, fooling themselves that these markets are going to be okay, that this is just a blip on the screen, a bump in the road, a speed bump, call it whatever you want, that this is just temporary. This is not temporary. We are witnessing the collapse of this economy taking place. Nothing got fixed in 2008. The crash already happened. There's no prediction of crash. It already happened. It's coming to the point where the patient on life support no longer has a pulse. That pulse is slowing down. They're running out of tricks, they're running out of injections, they're running out of medicine to keep this thing alive. And when it finally flatlines, all hell is going to break loose. And again, people like this want to continue fooling themselves because they're entrusting these markets, the banks, they're hoping that everything's going to be okay because the Ponzi scheme they're in, they think is never going to end. They don't want it to end, but it is coming to an end whether they want it to or not. It is coming to an end. And today is another warning sign of what is coming. That is not the sign of a healthy economy when the Dow Jones loses 460 points. And you know what? We're lucky we didn't see more than that. I want to talk about an article that came out today on Zero Hedge. Title, U.S. budget deficit hits a record $234 billion as interest on debt soars. Article says, in the first 4 months of fiscal 2019, interest on the U.S. debt was $221 billion. That is up $19 billion from last year. In the first 5 months of the fiscal year, the deficit rose to $544 billion. That's 39% higher than last year when it was $391 billion. $22 trillion of debt, and it's climbing every day, and that debt has to be serviced, and it is snowballing every day. Fiscal 2019 budget deficit will be around $900 billion. The article says it will be $897 billion. That will be up $118 billion from last year. Yet, people will say that this is an ominous message, an ominous video. What is ominous is that article. What is ominous is the reality that this is true, that this is what we're witnessing. This is what we're living through right now here in America. This debt is what is ominous. What I'm saying is just reality. And whether that's positive or negative, you can take it any way you want. But the fact of the matter is, the reality of the matter is those numbers are not lying. And the reality is this country is not going to survive with this kind of debt. If this continues for another period of time, what that might be, 2 years, 20 years, I don't know. But if this continues, we are not going to have a country because there is no way you can last with racking up this kind of debt. Debt is what kills everything. It is going to destroy this economy completely. It is going to destroy the US dollar. It will be debt that devastates America. It is going to bring America to its knees. Debt, debt, debt. Whether that's ominous, it is what it is. It is the reality of what is happening today in America. Let's talk diversification. Now, in the text message that my buddy sent me, he mentioned diversification. And he said diversification is the key to building wealth. I agree. He listed his diversifications. Precious metals, agreed. Bonds, disagree. T-bills, disagree. When we look at let's take a look at a couple type of bonds. Mortgage-backed bonds. We are witnessing real estate falling off of a cliff. Who would be buying mortgage-backed bonds right now? You're going to see residential and commercial real estate absolutely get devastated here in the near future. Corporate bonds, corporate debt is at an all-time high. On average, corporations are about 20% liquid. So, I mean, that's a bad one right there. We look at T-bills. Treasury bonds, 10 years, I think they were around 2.45% today. Who in the heck would tie up money for 10 years for less than 2.5%? And again, this is what they're forcing you to do, because you cannot earn an interest rate at the bank. You can't earn any interest on bonds. So it is forcing people to, come to that roulette table called Wall Street, the stock market, and gamble your money, because you are not going to earn anything in bonds or in T-bills, treasury bonds, mortgage-backed bonds. None of this is going to pay anything. All you are doing is taking paper and buying different paper, and you are taking a huge risk here right now. But again, it's all paper. To me, building wealth is not having debt and owning assets. No debt and owning assets that I can get to. And we both know, you and me, that the two most undervalued assets in the entire world are gold and silver. But of course, there's other assets. There's people that buy companies that make money, trucking companies, shipping companies, farms, land, what have you. There's different kind of assets. But the two most undervalued that you can go buy right now today are gold and silver. And the two assets that are going to have the biggest runs are going to be gold and silver. So I'm going to close this video out. I want to make a couple quick points before I do. One of them being that half of the investment grade bonds out there right now are one step away from being junk. That's a fact. It might be ominous, but that's a fact. And one more. This was an article that came out today. Treasury buying wave triggers first curve inversion since 2007. I think most of you probably already seen or heard about this today, but less than 40 basis points this morning were separating the 1-month Treasury and the 30-year bond. That's pretty insane. Don't buy bonds. The 3-month inverted with the 10-year, the 2-year, and the 5-year. This is ominous. This is reality. This is what you better be worried about. This is what you better be prepared about. It was a crazy day on Wall Street today. We'll see what Monday brings. It may be up, it may be down. It doesn't matter. Wall Street, the stock market, is completely manipulated. The markets are rigged. It's all an illusion. Get out of the matrix. Wake up. Get prepared. Ominous times are coming to America, and that's a fact. On that note, have a really good weekend. Go buy some gold, go buy some silver, go buy some guns, go buy some ammo, go get some training in, get in better physical, mental, and spiritual shape. Embrace life, love life, spend time with your family. Every one of you are definitely blessed. And I want to thank every one of you for taking the time watching this video. Please share it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. God bless you guys, and I'll talk to you very soon.